It's Hot Wheel Day. Don't go away. Hey everybody, it's Paul from Fat Guy Productions coming to you as always from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. And today should be a fun day. And we're going to take the most underappreciated Sweet 16 Hot Wheel Redline, the Python, and make you appreciate it. We're going to take this car that nobody seems to love, and we're going to turn it into a real treasure. So let's get started.
The poor Python. Who loves it? Really? I don't think anybody does. I don't know why, but this car just doesn't get any love. It's one of the Sweet 16, and absolutely, in my opinion, it's the least loved of the bunch. But we're going to see what we can do for this poor little derelict car. As you can see, the paint is a total mess. The engine looks pretty good, just needs to have its chrome dealt with. The glass doesn't look terrible, although I have a spare window in case I need it. So, yeah, I think we can do something with this. Let's hit it. This car and Vix Bits were like made for each other, as there's a complete little divot around the rivet where, so, it just kind of locks the thing together and is the perfect way to drill this car apart. So we'll go ahead and hit the rivets with the Vix Bits and get this car taken apart. Here you can see just how nice and centered the Vix Bits make the drilling process go. Okay, with the rivets drilled out, I can take a small tool and wedge it between the base and the body and just go ahead and pop this car into its component parts. And there's nothing better than that gratifying little pop as the car comes apart. So now we can really assess everything. Okay, the base, not too bad. A little flat and dull, but nothing we can't handle. The bearings are really loose on this. And I could replace these. They do make the replacement parts for that, but I don't know that I actually will. Now here you see the motor and the interior are actually kind of connected. They can be easily taken apart, but why bother? I'll just go ahead and leave it like this. All right, and like I said, the glass is not bad enough that I'm going to waste a replacement piece. I'm going to go ahead and save that and salvage it. The body, though, whew, man, this paint is beat down, and subsequently the metal of the body and the zinc, there's probably not a lot of zinc left there. We'll go ahead and run the car over to where I do the paint stripping, and we'll use a little of the gel paint stripper. And once we get this paint off of here, we'll be able to get a better look at the body and kind of really come up with a game plan. Sanding or polishing or electro polishing or zinc or whatever it's going to take to get this thing to look right. But, first we got to get it stripped down, and fortunately, Spectraflame paint comes off really easily. I just love how the stripper just kind of bubbles that paint up. I don't know. Just kind of fascinates me. I'm weird like that. Okay, so it looks like we've got about the majority of the paint off of this sucker. I think we can take it to the sink, wash and brush it down, and see what we have. Okay, so we're back from the sink, and I can go ahead and hit the car with my brass bristle brush and some dental picks to remove any stubborn little bits. And the brass bristle brush, not only does it remove some of the Klingon pieces of paint that don't want to let go, but it also kind of unifies the surface and gives you a really good idea of what you're facing here. So it's a really nice step. But if I really wanted to shine this thing up, at this point I would take some 4-0 steel wool to it. But right now, I just need to kind of have an idea of what's going on. Okay, so this sucker was bad enough that I took it out and I ran it through my electro polishing first. And then I hit it back up with the brass bristle brush again real quick. And here I am giving it, I think I did maybe 2 or 3 trips through the zinc bath. And kind of got a nice smooth coat down onto this car and got it ready for paint. Okay, so we've got a nice smooth even coat of zinc on here. I'll go ahead and wash the car, and then I'll hit it up with some 4-0 steel wool to get it ready for the paint booth. Alright, so after a good washing and cleaning and degreasing, here I am at the paint booth, and I've decided to go ahead and paint this car the same purple that it was. So this is, at this point, kind of going to be a restoration. You'll see I'm going to modify that a little bit later on. As always, my paint jobs begin with a tack coat, then a medium coat, and then however many wet coats as I need to get the color that I want. This purple really comes to color very, very quickly. So right after the medium coat, I was working to try to get the color right and the finish right immediately because I was already right at the color I wanted to be. Okay, so the car is looking amazing as I put on this last wet coat. I could not be happier with this thing. It is just a deep, beautiful purple with just such a high gloss. I'm really loving this. Okay, so you really don't have to let it dry as long as I do. I let mine dry anywhere from 3 days to a week, just because I have had some bad experiences where they weren't quite fully dried, and like even though I've worked on it against a paper towel, the paper towel would have actually left little marks in the finish, and I can't be having that. So I put this thing aside and let it dry for a long, long time. And while it's doing that, I can go ahead and tend to all the other parts. Okay, so the wheels are complete garbage, so they're getting cut off. The hubs are not great. The wheels are never going to sit straight and square on this thing. I'll do the best I can. I could replace them, but I tend to not do that. So we're going to roll with what's on here. So let's get these tires cut off and see what we have. Okay, so overall the base isn't in that bad a shape. It's actually surprisingly nice. So I'm going to put a little of my Flitz polish on here, kind of smear it around, and then I'll break out the rotary tool and get this thing looking like brand new. Okay, so after polishing with the rotary tool, I'll go ahead and just wipe it down with a nice soft cloth and we'll be ready to move on. Since I have the flits out, I might as well polish the windshield. Like I said, it's in pretty good shape, so I'm going to keep this old one. And I'm just going to buff it out with some flits. Then I'll wash it to get rid of any of the residual. And then we'll take it to my special little dip of gauzy. Okay, so she's looking pretty good, so we can go over and dip it in gauzy. Now, if you don't have gauzy and don't want to buy gauzy, you can also use Pledge Floor Care. It's just an acrylic polish, and you do it exactly the same as if you're using gauzy. You dip it in, you wick off the excess, and then let it dry, and it works fantastic. It's an old plastic model builder's trick. Makes the glass look amazing. Everybody into the pool. And we'll take it for a little dip. Make sure we don't get any bubbles stuck on it. And then we can go ahead and just keep it at an angle to let everything pool to a corner and wick it off. Then we'll go ahead and set it aside with a cover over it so it can dry without getting any dust or particles on it. Now, there are all types of guys out there, purists and this, that, the next thing, and I am not a purist, okay? I like the chrome wheels, okay? If you know about Hot Wheels, some have silver wheels and some have chrome wheels. I like the chrome wheels. And I think they only came on, I'm going to say this backwards. I know I'll screw this up because I'm doing it off the top of my head. I think the chrome wheels only were from Hong Kong cars. Well, I don't care if the car is a Hong Kong car or not. I like the chrome wheels, and that's what I'm going to be using on this car today. Small set in the front, medium set in the back, and I'll take my little alignment tool, and I'll put it between the body and the nylon hub to help set the spacing equally. They look great. They spin fantastic. We're in business here. Look how nice that thing rolls. They just don't make Hot Wheels like this anymore, sadly. Okay, on to other business. Now, the interior just needed a quick cleaning, no big deal, but the motor, now the motor is a different subject altogether. Here you can see the motor is actually all there, which is sometimes not the case. A lot of times the blower and stuff is ground away. This is all here, it just is missing a bunch of its chrome. And nothing does a better job of fixing that than the multi-chrome pen. The only issue is you got to put it on and put it aside to dry for quite a while, 2-3 days. This stuff seems to take forever to dry. But man, it looks like chrome. It looks exactly like it came out of the factory. So I just get the pen to flow on a little paper towel. You want it flowing freely. You don't want to have to fight with it or it'll come out all yucky looking. And you just want to kind of flow it all over the engine and it's going to look amazing. Okay, body is dry, glass is dry, engine is dry. It is assembly time. So we go ahead and we'll take our glass and we'll just drop that in there. And then we'll go ahead and get the body. And you notice I still have that all connected to the engine, which is freshly chromed from the multi-chrome pen. We'll go ahead and just drop that in there. Then we can take the base that's going to have the brand new chrome rimmed wheels and we can drop that on next. And then we can go ahead and screw this sucker together, close her all up, see what we have there. For the normal posts, I use a 256 screw, and for the really, really tiny posts, I use a 172 screw. Here I'm using the 256s, and I just screw it in. We're back in business. Look at this car, man. It is looking amazing. And now it's just some of the detail work. My transparent red Sharpie wasn't going to work on this dark color, so I went ahead and took a silver Sharpie and colored in the taillight first, let it dry, and here I am just going over that with the transparent red to make the taillight. Now, this car always has a black painted roof. I'm not doing it. You don't like it, make a comment in the comments and I'll read your comments, but the fact of the matter is, this car looks amazing, and I didn't want to do anything to take away from this beautiful, beautiful paint job. So it is not getting a black roof, period. End of story. I think the car looks amazing. I could not be happier, and this is absolutely, at this point, my favorite restoration of all. Yes, I took the lowly little Python and made it into my favorite Hot Wheel.
Okay, well, there you have it, the Python. And you may disagree with me philosophically on whether I should paint the roof black or not, but the simple truth is, I don't want to do anything to take away from just the glam of this paint job, okay? It looks amazing. It's like a little jewel, okay? And that's why I say that the Python is a little underappreciated. The body lines of this car are so exotic that they take the paint and facet it into an amazing show of color. You have dark areas, light areas, deep purples, light purples. Deep purple? Get it? Okay. Anyhow, but the car came out amazing. I love it. And as simple as the car as it is, and as underappreciated as it is, it's probably going to become one of my favorites in my collection right now. This little Python right here. Now, if you think I should paint the top black, go ahead and put a comment down below. Maybe I'll change my mind. You know, convince me, okay? All right. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, click subscribe, make sure you hit the little bell icon and it'll let you know anytime I upload a new video. Ask any questions that you might have and make any comments that you feel like you want to make. I love hearing from you guys and kind of having some kind of banter back and forth. Okay, so this is Paul from Fat Guy Productions. I'm going to get out of here. Until next time, have a super fantabulistic day and be good.